Planet Dolan.
From new sources of power to the ability of change what it means to be human, we count 10 types of tech that could change everything. Yeah, what's up YouTube fans? Pringle the one in the building. How we doing today? And today, guys, I got some crazy new content for your face. So here we go.
Number 10.
Augmented reality, or AR, is when you intersplice computer-generated graphics and sounds into reality in real time. This doesn't seem like that of a big deal, but hear me out. If this proliferated, no one would ever have to learn another language, especially when auto-translation becomes more efficient. But it's not just that. It would take away the need for screens on phones. You just have something to interface with it, or just move your hands and eyes to control it.
Number 9.
There are multiple different ways we might use wireless power, but the one that looks most promising uses a magnetic field that will encompass your entire house, which can then be used by devices as a power supply. The trick to this is that a magnetic field has no real effect on humans, yet it's actually the same thing as electricity, hence it being called the electromagnetic field. Like all the items on this list, it exists in a very early stage, but when it arrives, say goodbye to needing PowerPoints. As long as you're in someone's home, your phone will never go flat.
Number 8.
A massive amount of the economy relies on people needing to get from A to B, and this will remain with autonomous cars, but taxi, bus, and train drivers can say goodbye to employment. Despite this downside, there are a multitude of benefits. For one, no one will ever drive when drunk again. Actually, most car crashes will be avoided as the majority of them are caused by human error.
Number 7.
Battery storage is a big issue right now, and a ton of people are researching into it. Once we get to the point where we can easily store large amounts of power, everything will change. The main downside of renewable energy is that you can't store it efficiently. If you could, the fact that it's only situational will be mostly removed. You could set up masses of solar panels in deserts and move it to where people need it, whereas now we mostly just use it as it comes.
Number 6.
While electrical cars may be the future, their existence doesn't remove the need for actual fuel as jet planes. Rockets and the power plants will still need some form of it. And there's a lot of different options for fuel that has zero carbon output that doesn't also happen to be massively dangerous to use. The biggest one would be thorium, which works similar to uranium, except it has no potential to melt down. But there's also hydrogen and helium-3 based engines which will come in handy, especially if we can't get battery storage done right. Delicious knowledge today, guys.
Number 5.
3D printing is in its infancy. Once it develops further, autonomous robots will be able to build entire cities and even turn basic elements into delicious food. But the biggest change that 3D printing could bring is towards the medical field. Right now we're working on getting organ printing up and going. Of course, not everyone agrees this is ethical, but for the most part people do. But even if it's not necessarily ethical, it could completely kill entire sections of the black market, while also saving lives.
Number 4.
When you hear the term quantum computers, it sounds super technical, which to be fair it is, but explaining it is pretty simple. Instead of computers running on ones and zeros, it will have twos, ones, and zeros, which at first doesn't seem like a lot, but the change is gigantic. With this seemingly small change, all current computer encryption will be completely ineffective. That includes your internet banking and government security. On the plus side though, we can turn gigantic tasks into small ones, but don't be mistaken, it won't replace all computers as the tools operate completely differently as it is an uncertainty, and is only really useful in long processes, not real-time ones like gaming.
Number 3.
The price of rare minerals such as gold relies on their scarcity, but they're only scarce on Earth. If we leave our home planet, there's a lot of minerals just floating around waiting to be harvested. A single asteroid the size of a city block could contain trillions of dollars worth of minerals, including incredibly useful ones like copper and iron. It might seem dangerous, but if we can use remote and autonomous robots, we barely need to send anyone at all, especially if 3D printing gets advanced enough.
Number 2.
Everything that makes you is right down to your DNA. Well, of course there are other factors, but the point remains that your body and brain's makeup are relying on a string of information. The CRISPR bacteria can be edited so we can change our DNA at will, giving us the ability to remove any genetic disease like diabetes, arthritis, and even some forms of cancer. In fact, we can already do this with CRISPR, sort of, as we just don't know enough about DNA to know what to edit. Once we figure this out and make sure it's safe for humans, we're going to take evolution into our own hands.
Number 1.
Of course, none of the above matters. If we manage to make an AI that can self-improve, once we do that, we just need to ask it to create every single thing on this list for us, and it will do so in a fraction of the time it would take us. If it's benevolent, that is. If it's evil or just can't value human life, well, we're pretty much where we're all going to die. Luckily though, we're aware of this possibility, and if we do make such an AI, we can do everything in our power to prevent humans from going extinct. So guys, what kind of future technology are you looking forward to and why? I'm pretty much waiting for warping to be a thing. Let us know on the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Take care everybody, much love and appreciation. Peace. But then it's gotta be really hard to program an entire universe. Surely that makes the argument fall down. Of course, this isn't necessarily an issue either, since we could just program programs to program the program for us, which, believe it or not, is something we already do for many areas of IT.